I said, is this a second-rate school? This is great. And by the way, the man that got along with me from Ohio State said specialists should savor their comp the person that treats. When he went back to Charleston, he told the newspaper, that's the greatest place I've ever been. They've got all the facilities. I interviewed every teacher they have. I interviewed all the students. I talked to their classes. I would love to be young enough to be a part of it. The Daily Mail published that. The Gazette wouldn't put a word in. Huntington, Charleston, Wheeling, they gave his talk. Gave it great play.
Which kind of brings us to the point of...
He was one who wanted to see schools that trained doctors, not specialists. Now this is, with the except in a few cases, people see specialists when they have no business seeing it. Your family doctor, if you come to me and you need to see a heart person, I can tell you, I kept my records, I can tell you where I can send you to a good heart person that I can trust, that I know knows what he's doing, that sends me good records. And if you pick one and go yourself, you may go to one who never even sends the family doctor a report. They don't even know what the person did, if he did anything. And you don't know whether he had done one operation in his training or 50. And the family doctor that's honest and square with his patients keeps records of orthopedic surgeon. I can tell you right now, if you want your knee operated on your hip, what doctor gets the best results? I have a list of them.
Well, I know that's true.
That's what good family doctors are for, is to guide you to the place that you can get the best service. And allowed the patient to just go out and pick his own, and their ad says, no referral to special. That just puts Medicare price
higher
to the sky. And one of the graduates down here is head of the orthopedic surgery at Morgantown, Dr. Lloyd Kirk. He just rants like I do. It's terrible. He said these kids could be in here. They only require them to work with me 3 days a week. I had to work 7. And I say to him, I've got an interstate operation to do. You can go with me this morning, would you like to? No, Doc, I've already got my 3. I've seen my 3 surgeries this week. Thank you anyway. And then my stepson is is in Florida, and he has medical students from Gainesville in Florida State, and he tells me it's the same thing.
It's amazing.
They're not motivated. That's what Lloyd says. 50% of them come because their parents want them to go to medical school, or they're a doctor's son. They don't want to go. Less than 50% of them go because they actually want to treat patients. And back to what I told you before, if I'd have made enough teaching, I made between 7,900 and 8,000 for the 11 years that I taught. That was my total income. And Dr. John signed the sticker, almost threw me out of the bank when I went in and said, I'm going to medical school. Would you loan me $50 if I need it? I didn't need it. I had enough saved up for more than this amount. He blew up. He told me I was crazy. Anybody that was well established in the education field and got a loan, it was his experience that people that went out on a wild goose chase like that ended up the mountains and he wrote that to me in a letter, which I've got here somewhere to find.
That you were crazy.
The bank wanted that later, and the college over at Concord wanted a copy of it so they could put it in their magazine. Now, he wrote me that in a letter and put right in there, it is my experience that you will amount to nothing on that wild goose chase. We will not loan you anybody. If, by the way, you owe anything, we expect it to be paid in full before you start. That was John's son. Well, I only had one good thing happen. When I got paid by the coal company, I brought my pay in and asked for us to sign the sticker. And I gave him my envelope. They paid you in cash. And said, I want to buy some war arms. He took my pay envelope and he looked at it. He took the money out. It had $801 in it. $100. He laid them out. They laid down this and got the stuff out to write. The bank sold the E-bonds, and they were called victory bonds or something. Then when the war was over, they needed more than the war. And he'd get that envelope up and look. On the outside, so many hundreds, 150, 120, 110, it'll all be there and added up. Now that company for 17 years paid me like that. And it wasn't big money compared to today. There would be $700 or $800 in the envelope every 2 weeks. And every time I come back to Pocahontas County, I would stop with my envelope and buy bonds. And doctors were not under Social Security. So I bought a 500 bond. So I would have 500 a month when I retired. It only cost you something like $225. So for the next 4 or 5 years, long as John signed the sticker was down, I bought the bonds from him. And why I didn't say to him, I wasn't big mouth enough yet. Why I didn't say, Mr. Sidestricker, you know what you told me? You told me, Ed, that your experiences in guys with my age and well established that went on a wild goose chase never amounted to anything. But I got news. I caught the goose. I shouldn't. He was dead and gone before I thought of that. I didn't dislike him for that. He was just protecting the people in the bank.
Yeah.
He was going to loan money out to somebody who's going to go on a wild goose chase.
He didn't finance wild geese chases.
Do you know who loaned me $50 at a time when I absolutely had to have Dr. Jim Price?
Oh, really?
Dr. Jim said, they'll go to the bank. They won't loan it to him, don't they? You just write to me, or you come in here, or have your wife come in. And he always said, why don't your wife go too? He always said that. Well, every time you have him come in and tell, well, I'd go in and say, I am going to have to have probably $50 before the semester's over. He get the pocket. Get one of them little pencils. He never had a pencil. I never ever saw him use a pencil as long as my finger. Get one, he'd pull one of them little and tear off a piece off of an envelope and write $50 in it. Take that downstairs and give it to June. I'd take it down and give it to June McWeed. He'd credit my account with $50.
So needless to say, you like Doc Jim.
Oh, I liked him because I'd known him so long before. But after I started medical school, we just got real friendly. And when I went to see him when he was sick, and he was sick in his bed upstairs on the 3rd floor of the bed. When I come up close to the bed, he stuck his arm out from the covers for me to feel his pulse. That's what he always did. Stuck his arm out. I felt his pulse and took his blood pressure.
And you say you treated him whenever he died?
No, it was Norman I treated.
Oh, no.
I was at Oak Hill, or at Mullins when Dr. Jim died. But Norman was, I was on the staff that year when Norman died after 1963.